Happy birthday.
This is LoveLBR.com. Download it. LoveLBR.com.
To you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you, yeah. Happy birthday to you.
Get a quick phone.
Yeah, bring her to go Steve to the main store. So the man wanted for you to go Steve on the web post. Yeah. He said, I'm joining to go Steve to the web main store to get money into the store that we go take it from there. I said, my man, how many bars for the same lecture? How can the police catch you now? The police go before the man call me back. Now on the 18th, day more.
The same man now.
Yeah, the same man.
The same man who want for you to go Steve.
Yeah, he called me on the 18th.
Yeah.
Now in the now, about 8:30, the man called me. He said, oh, my man, I lecture been I'll call you by.
So that time you go to where?
I go to where? I go to where?
You leave for your working place, you come to the man.
Yeah, I'm from my working area to class, so now I go to the man.
To go Steve now.
No, I'm not go Steve. I'm not go Steve. I mean, I go to, yeah. How you question me like that? The thing you want for me to explain, for you to understand, then you still questioning me, doubling the question. How many talk clear?
Oh, let go now. I beg you, sorry.
I say,
When I call you in the man now.
when the man come in, he asked me, say, how many of you are working to the area? I say, we are 3.
You told the man, say you're three.
Yeah. So he said, I want to give you tea. To carry to
The man say you want to give you what?
tea. Have milk tea.
To your tea.
Yeah.
For you to drink.
With bread.
The bread.
3 pieces of fruit bread.
The egg is that.
Enter my butter. So when I carry it to the man, say carry it to the man. When you give it to the man, then you must come back to the car.
So the food man give you now, you carry now, so you can go convince your friend now.
Yeah. When I give it to the man now, the man say thank you. I say okay. The man say, where you going now? I say, oh, I'm going where? So one of my friend call me.
And the same man go to now.
Yeah, I say man.
The man say want for you to go Steve.
No, yeah. So when I go to the man, he say clean the car. Then there are 2 now.
In the Jeep.
In the Jeep. Then there are 2.
Big Jeep.
Yeah.
That
Black BG. Photo Jeep. Yeah. So when I clean the car now,
air condition, all is that.
no. Papa, you can't wait for me to spin now. I'll leave the whole town now. You can judge people.
I just asking you a question, sorry.
You can judge people that can come here.
No, I'm a journalist. I beg you, sorry.
The way you talk with the question, you say when I move from here, I'll free. You say when I move from here, I'll free. I'm not be said one talk again. I wanted to make the whole talk clear to you, but you double in the question. Hi, not looking, hi, looking. Then you want post and now more word there again. Why not be looking to the top? I'm not going to talk again. And said they call me to the office, I go explain.
I think it's going to mean you come to get you say you carry tea to the man. After you carry tea to the man, you come now. So what next now?
And for me, I'll not there.
Nobody, you getting there. You say, ask you too much question. Hey, there's me, you say, make your egg and bread. You bring it. Okay, sorry. Don't say sorry now. Okay, sorry. If you I will not ask you the question again. Okay, sorry.
When I give me answer now, then you
Okay, explain again. I'm not asking you no more question again. Okay, that's why now.
go to school. The English say I need the English.
Okay, sorry. Don't say sorry now. Sorry.
Say I think you take that. You take that.
I'm taking time. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Say I can take that
To explain.
Sense of gratitude and humility. It has been an honor and a privilege to serve as your president and commander-in-chief for the past 6 years. Together in 2018, we embarked on a journey to build a united, peaceful, and prosperous Liberia. And I am deeply thankful for the trust and support you have bestowed upon me and my administration during my tenure. As we brand democracy, I therefore urge you, my fellow citizens, to continue to be law-abiding and seek peaceful means to resolve differences. Embrace trust and dialogue. Let us love one another and come together as one people, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us remember the strength of our unity, the resilience of our democracy, and the hope that lies in the future of Liberia. as we welcome a new era. Let us move forward hands in hand with a shared commitment to building a united nation that will continue to strive on observing the tenets of democracy and adhering to the rule of law. May God bless you all, and may God continue to bless the Republic of Liberia.
Those who want to speak in another nation will everybody happy. We are rejoicing over the defeat of the old regime. We are rejoicing about our effort to bring a new regime. Then we say now with happiness. We go to write paper for that 79-year-old man. He's starting to read. And you go there, I will tell the nation, I will tell the US, I will bring one man for you. Because you think one man for you, I will tell you,
to our suckers. This is what we must deal with, and this is what we must say. Who do we elect into our public offices? Because, as I've said before, when you allow hyenas to take care of goats, why should you be surprised when the goats are eaten? This is the same. And Africa is only going to realize our potential in all areas when, by dint of choice, we enable and allow our best men and women to serve in different areas. I've heard it being said about Lee Kuan Yew in Singapore. I've heard it being suggested about Mahathir Mohamad in Malaysia. I've heard it being said about Japan. I've heard it being said about other countries. But there was a conscious decision on the part of those individuals and the followership. We always talk about leaders, but we never talk about the followers. The followers must also style up. Africans on average are for some reason attracted to thieves. Africans are for some reason attracted to men and women who cannot serve her. And when they are not served, then they complain. When Africans are told, choose you now whom we shall release, Jesus of Nazareth or Barabbas, they say release Barabbas. And when Barabbas behaves like Barabbas, they say, why are you not behaving like Christ? It cannot be done.
In May of 2001, the new administration of its president, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, Crane then sets out several plans, two of which I'll state here. He said, first, hand Charles Taylor over to the special court for Sierra Leone for a fair trial, his kind of trial. This takes him out of the local and regional dynamics that is West Africa. Second, tie any financial and political support to good governance in Liberia. Time does not permit, but the exhibits are present. Not even the Nigerian nation was spared from threats and intimidation, as explained by Femi Kayode, press secretary to President Obasanjo, the Nigerian head of state, who was with him in Washington when President George W. Bush promised, and I quote, to bring Nigeria to its knees if Taylor was not turned over to the special court. What happened? Obasanjo buckled and capitulated. Now, this demonstrates the significant pressure that was brought to bear on President Obasanjo, irrespective of his personal and leadership obligations to the West African sub-region. And therein lies the dilemma for current African heads of state and government, but how to enter into binding commitments and obligations with the African pairs and remain steadfast, resolute, and unyielding in their fidelity to those agreements in the face of such unrelenting and punishing pressure from powerful.
They say they were freedom fighters. When they were coming, they say they were liberators. But when they came Vietnam, they changed their mind. When they came Vietnam, they changed their mind.
And we all can wake up in the morning with a mindset of engaging in different forms and manner. But we must all understand that leadership is not measured by the promises we make, but by the courage we keep, or by the courage to keep them. We must be reminded that a nation rises when its leaders choose service over self, principle over popularity, and integrity over convenience. Let me say a very, very pleasant good morning to all of you across the country.
When they were coming, they said they were liberators.
Good morning to you. Good afternoon to you.
They were liberators.
Good evening or good night to all of you who are following or joining the show this morning. Our friends, our fans, our followers, our critics, and even those of you who do not like the things we say and the way we say them. It's good to have all of you joining us this morning on Freedom Morning Rise. It's Wednesday in the Republic of Liberia, the 17th day of June 2026. Just a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. And we are excited to have all of you joining us this morning. All we can say is welcome to another edition of the show. Today, very shortly too, we examine the future of our nation through the lenses of leadership, governance, justice, and national development. Our guest this morning is a distinguished lawyer, human rights advocate, and presidential hopeful, Councillor Tiawanse Gonguro. We urge you to stay with us as we engage him on the issues that matter most to every Liberian, including our very selves seated behind these microphones this morning. Very shortly, we'll take a break to take a word from our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia. Just after that break, we run to our Facebook live feed to welcome all of you joining us this morning. My name is Austin Kawa. Abu Sharif is here, and together we are your drivers straight up to 10 o'clock this morning. We also hope to speak with police spokesman Sam Collins. The Liberia National Police have been investigating the matter involving some students and plotters from WAEC, Liberia. And also we're told that a driver from the Liberia National Fire Service was arrested and investigated. The outcome of that investigation should be out. We want to hear from police spokesman Sam Collins on the two issues. They said the driver was trying to infiltrate or intrude into the presidential motorcade, even against the advice or warning of the Liberia National Police. This is our country, Liberia, and it's good to have all of us interacting on different fronts and in different manners. Let's take this word from our sponsor, Crime Stopper Liberia. When we come back, we talk the issues and engage the guest. So stick and stay, don't go away. We'll be right back after this break.
Yo, hello. I want to talk about violence. More violence is indiscriminate.
It can happen for any reason and to anyone. Until we do something to serve the sort of vigilante-style justice in this country, none of us will be saved. My Liberia is Liberia of hope. In my Liberia, it is possible. Violence is not part of my Liberia. Violence leads to poverty, damage, injury, or even death, as we have seen in recent months in several parts of Liberia, including Monrovia. Talk to people in your community about violence. Stand up against mob justice. Be a community hero. Liberia is all that we have. We must all unite to uphold the rule of law. This is Old Man Sam Sion, your community crime fighting partner. Thanks for listening. This is Old Man Sam Sion.
Thank you, Old Man Sam Sion. I like the way he pronounced his name 2 times. Thank you very much. This is Old Man Sam Sion. This is Old Man Sam Sion. Oh, Ziba, I really love his name. Abu, welcome. This Wednesday. Welcome.
Good morning, Liberia. And of course, good morning to our very respected listeners and followers across the globe. And those of you in Liberia, we'd like to say a pleasant welcome to this Wednesday morning edition of the nation's most listened to breakfast conversation. We believe so very well based on the integrity of the platform and of course the credibility we bring to the discourse and all that. Yes, you listen to the menu as was read by Austin. We have a very important guest this morning to look through and x-ray issues of national concern and the opinions and view of Councillor Gonglo remain very, very significant to these, and that is the reason why this platform remains available for every view in this country. It is now a new thing. It has been like that forever. It will remain like that for as long as we have to keep talking to strengthen our democracy and strengthen our nation. So yes, we are here. We're back. And of course, there are too many people joining. We'd like to welcome all of you. Follow us on the social media, Facebook, YouTube. Continue to drop your reactions to each of the talking points. The biggest of it all in our country today is this drug issue, right? Everybody is weighing in their different perspectives and all of that. But it's good for our country. And on yesterday, the president addressed the country about it as well, So we welcome the president's address. Equally so, it's important for all of us to look into the president's message and see whether the message presented answers, right? Because this is not just something that just happening like yesterday or today. It has been for over a week now, right? Pushing to 2 weeks. So when the president, especially when the national security people or the people in charge told us clearly that the investigation were going to remain classified. And then when you hear that the president is about to address the nation on that matter, you expect that certain strong, discovery or revelations will be made, because there can be no person in the country that can present the biggest message than the president. So once the president comes out, you expect answers, you expect real strength. But then, did we see that with the president message? I'm sure we'll have a time to look at it. We'll also quiz our guests on what his perspective about the president message. But mind you now, it was great that the president spoke. His silence was also creating a room for heightened suspicion, right? All of that, especially with pointing fingers being directed at the executive mansion and some other officials of the Ministry of State. So these are very grave situations in our country, especially for an old man that promises that he was going to come here to ensure that the whole issue about drug peddling or drug in the country is put under control. And so these are this is not a joking moment, right? So that is that. At 8 o'clock, I'm told we have 8 minutes. Our guests will be coming. And then you know when Councillor Gonglo is coming, so you just have to wait for what he has got to say about the different issues. But in the meantime, we want to welcome you. We want to encourage you to remain firm in your position. We want to encourage you to keep speaking out. We want to encourage you to remain there, standing for your country, standing for your family, for your children, and for yourself. Right? You're not doing it to appease or appeal to the sentiment or acceptance of anybody. It's about your country. It's about how you feel about what is happening in your country. Be very expressive, and that is the reason why we embrace democracy. And in democracy, there must be tolerance for people's expressed opinions and views about what is happening to them. I think it was on Monday or so. To tell you how terrible things are becoming in our country. Marketeers block the street. Marketers are blocking the street because ticket price, I'm told, have rose to $50 Liberian. And it may sound small to you, but their issue is they're not making sales. And because they're not making sales, so that is a burden. And they're asking the LMA to do something about it. And the LMA has not listened, so they have to take their grievances to the street. All of these things are portraying our country in a very terrible way. It is also communicating that there is a complete breakdown in leadership. Absolute underperformance at every level. We all celebrated that, there were yellow machines coming in our country to address our rural issues, our fellow Liberians. And then we are getting very disturbingly that even a yellow machine, the Chinese people running behind the government for their money. So what thing will be good now, Honor Mr. Watt? You say this is your landmark, legacy project. And the legacy project, people collect money from the budget, and then the Chinese people passing around, they say, Labrador pay their money here. It's so disheartening. So let me, we have a bit of you here already. Stanley Basso has joined. This is Jefferson Washington as well. Philip Tar. You have Ma Anison. Mutari is joining as well. Melvin Mustafa. Aliu Kamara. You have Johnson Dole. Aliu Kamara once more. Desire Waters is also joining. Buka Barkley, Peter Wonday is also joining. Charles Etos, Kofidi Sanke, Johnson Dole, Ruben Kane, our good friend, has joined. That is J. Gabriel Johnny. You have J. Henry Na as well. Prince Dukle, Margreta Vami, Roland Sua, Simon D. Copeland, amongst many people that are joining and watching this morning. All you can do, kindly share the show and continue to drop your reactions and comments on each of the issues as we'll be discussing. Very shortly, we're expected to have our guests. And Conway, where are we?
Okay, so it's good to have all of you. There's been a change in the schedule for the appearance of Councillor Gonglo, so he will appear at 9 o'clock instead of 8 o'clock due to other issues. So he will appear today at 9 o'clock this morning, but they come way on the highway and the traffic. So he has asked that we scheduled for 9 o'clock instead of 8. So so we'll do the show and we will do the interview at 9 o'clock. And then we'll move into our talking points this morning. The President, His Excellency Joseph Boakai, addressed the nation yesterday. He spoke. He mentioned two issues in the speech that I took away, and so I think we can go into the speech made by the President yesterday on the two issues. But basically, today is the birthday of our own colleague here, Anthony Stevens. And so we'd like to say happy birthday to you, Brother Stevens. The magic of our fingers. So we say happy birthday to you, bro. Today we're sharing the platform with you. We're using the platform to celebrate your legacy behind the microphone for years, for decades. Using your skills and experience and time and talent to entertain the Liberian audience in Liberia, those in Liberia and the diaspora. And so it's important that we celebrate your legacy, today as you turn 40, 44, 45, something around there. Oh, man. So, yes, happy birthday to you, Stevens. And all of you, our followers, our supporters, our fans, our critics celebrating your birthday today. It's important we also include you on the list along with Stevens to say happy birthday to you, and hope you all can celebrate well if you have the opportunity or the capacity to celebrate in the manner and form you want to celebrate.
So yeah, let me also add, Stephen is a fine gentleman, and I want to say happy birthday to you, brother. You already know what's up. And one thing I like about Stephen is that he is a very honest Chelsea supporter, and he gets excited when Chelsea is actually playing football, but then he gets back into the mood to accept when Chelsea become, very disastrous. And as soon as you tell him, man, say, yeah, man, Chelsea not playing this, man. Only my all, man. So yeah, man, enjoy your day, and of course, keep safe. I know times are very hard, So Liberia is not on the mill, just be on regular, all of that. So congratulations, my brother, and others celebrating today.
So yesterday, this is what the president presented. In case you may have missed out on the opportunity to have listened to President Bouaka, this is the statement presented yesterday, which we can read some paragraphs, if not the entire speech. If we have the time, we can do that. For those of you who may not have gotten the chance to listen to him, those of you who may not have copy of the address made. So the president began by saying, I address you today regarding the recent seizure of approximately 237.6 kilograms of cocaine at Roberts International Airport with an estimated street value exceeding 19 million United States dollars. This seizure, he said, is one of the largest narcotics interdictions in our nation's history. It is a stark reminder that transnational criminal enterprises continue to view West Africa as a transit corridor for dangerous drugs and illicit proceeds. He says, let me be loud and clear here. Though I maintain that Liberia is open for business, Liberia is not open for the business of drug trafficking. Liberia will not be used as a safe haven, transit point, warehouse, financial center, or operational base by criminal networks to engage in narcotics trafficking. Any individual, group, or network that seeks to exploit our territory, corrupt our institutions, endanger our youth, or undermine our national security will be identified, pursued, and brought to justice. In view of the seriousness of this incident, I directed that the investigation be conducted by the National Joint Security under the authority of the National Security Council. The investigation is being coordinated by the Liberia Drug Enforcement Agency and the Liberia National Police with support from the National Security Agency, the Executive Protection Service, the Financial Intelligence Agency, the Liberia Immigration Service, Customs Authorities, Airport Security, the Ministry of Justice, and other relevant security institutions. This investigation will proceed on two fronts. First, every individual directly connected to this shipment will be identified, arrested, investigated where evidence warrants, and prosecuted consistent with the law. Second, and equally important, we will identify and dismantle the entire criminal enterprise behind this operation. We are not interested only in intercepting drugs or arresting couriers. We are determined to expose and destroy the networks that finance, coordinate, facilitate, and profit from this criminal activity. Whether they operate within Liberia or beyond our borders, whether they are private citizens, public officials, financiers, facilitators, or foreign actors, they will face the full force of the law. I have further directed that Liberia strengthen its cooperation with our international partners. Accordingly, the government is actively engaging with international law enforcement and security agencies to support this investigation through intelligence sharing, financial tracking, forensic analysis, and coordinated cross-border investigations. I have full confidence in the ability of our national security apparatus to deal with this issue. No one should doubt or underestimate their love and commitment. To this end, a high-level delegation has already been dispatched to engage with key international partners and strengthened operational collaboration to identify, disrupt, and dismantle all persons, organizations, and networks connected to this criminal enterprise. This investigation will follow the evidence wherever it leads. No person will be untouchable. No institution will be shielded from scrutiny. No criminal network will escape justice. We are committed to uncovering the truth and ensuring that every individual just hold on. We've been told by our technician that everything we're saying was going on the radio or not. For the live thing, I think for those on the live we're not following. Let's see. It should be okay. Oh, so yeah, so everything, so it was a wasted. Let me see. Yeah, that's why we love the monitor, the live. Okay, it's okay. Okay. So we'll now go back because okay, we're 5 minutes past 8. So he said, to this end, a high-level delegation has already been dispatched to engage with key international partners and strengthen operational collaboration to identify, disrupt, and dismantle all persons, organizations, and networks connected to this criminal enterprise. This investigation will follow the evidence wherever it leads. No person will be untouchable. No institution will be shielded from scrutiny. No security network will escape justice. We are committed to uncovering the truth and ensuring that every individual found responsible is fully accountable under the law. At the same time, I call on all Liberians to remain calm, responsible, and patient while investigators carry out their work. I understand the public demand for information and accountability. The Liberian people have every right to expect transparency from their government. However, successful investigations require discipline, professionalism, and the protection of operational information. Premature disclosures can compromise investigations, alert suspects, destroy evidence, hinder prosecutions, and most importantly, endanger the lives of individuals who are cooperating with and supporting the investigation. I therefore assure the nation that this investigation will be conducted with the highest standards of professionalism, integrity, transparency, and accountability. Information will be shared with the public at appropriate stages of the investigation, consistent with the law and the need to protect ongoing operations. My administration remains fully committed to protecting our citizens, securing our borders. I know this is another controversial part I was captured in the speech. Securing our borders, preserving the integrity of our institutions, and defining Liberia's reputation in the international community. The fight against drug trafficking is beyond a law enforcement challenge. It is a fight for the future of our young people, the security of our communities, the credibility of our institutions, and the prosperity of our nation. We will confront that threat with determination, professionalism, and resolve. Those who seek to profit from the suffering of our people or undermine the security of our nation will find no refuge in Liberia. Together, with resolved unity and determination, we will win the fight. May God bless us all and save the state. Joseph Yima Braga, President of the Republic of Liberia, speech to the nation on yesterday evening to our country, Abu. And I know you follow the speech. I had earlier posted on yesterday that the speech was necessary and that we were going to look into the speech today on the show. Point by point raise some of the phrases and the statements made. We want to look into it critically and analyze it critically and see where the commitment lies. Because leaders must speak not just for the optics, not just for the attention, public attention, not just for the popularity or the fame, but the statements that come from leaders, especially presidents, must be grounded in sincerity, in truth-telling, in facts. The statements or the speeches made must address the realities on the ground, and the citizens must have confidence, must vest confidence in whatever utterance that is made by our leaders. And this is where I think necessitate the need for us to look deeply into what the president has said. So, no, we got everything you said. Okay. So I think that meant you see someone on the phone and he said there's no sound on anything. Yeah.
So yeah, I think, but I don't know what you think generally. Yeah, I saw your initial reaction, like everybody would do, and
Yeah.
And so obviously, and nobody. In fact, if you ask me, I'll tell you that it was a little belated, and based on the severity of
The
matter, and for the president to have taken a week plus to speak to the country on this, and indicated for me a lack of interest But however be the case, the fact that the president have spoken, we welcome the president's address. But then there is a doctrine, there's a concept called relativism, basically that looks at situation, the timing, and and the environment that dictate largely, and what is supposed to happen, what is supposed to be done, and all of that. But then if you critically assess the president's remark, and then looking at this whole drug situation from the day it was busted to where we are, the suspense that the government kept the nation in. First of all, that suspense was an indication, and the justification for that was that we are handling this thing a lot more professionally, right? To ensure that we get everything correct before we can speak to the nation about it, right? Whether you're opposition or you are, a ruling position, or you're leaning, any which way, is a beautiful justification to say, okay, we want to handle this a lot more professionally, and we want to make sure we keep our issues to our chest until we are ready to talk. So when you get ready to talk, the nation will expect certain basic, information. And then when you talk, the nation looks through your information, and they're not seeing those meat with those ingredients within your delivery. Then for me, it becomes an empty bravado. Probably, if the president had nothing to say yet in the matter in terms of identifying, like he said, right, announcing the arrest and assuring the prosecution of individual connected, then the president should have waited a little more. But for the president to have taken 1 week plus, right, gathering all of the intelligence from his people and ensuring that they cross the T and dot the R's and everything before speaking to the country, and the president comes to speak, the doubts we had before the president addressed, we are still with those doubts. The uncertainties we had as a country in respect to the 19 million worth of cocaine brought into our country, stored in our country, repackaged, right, and transported to the airport for 5 days to be distributed across Europe. And the president comes, he answers no questions, he provides no clarity to the doubts that Liberians have, the suspicions that are there still remains. So I don't know who prepared the president to make that address. But then when you're making these kinds of address, sometimes you have 1 or 2 objectives that you want to achieve in the interim. So now I ask the government people, I ask the presidency, what did you achieve from the president address? Now, if you go into the details of the president's statement, you realize that the president was inconsistent. In fact, at one point, instead of providing answers, the president will sound as if to say he is a candidate rolling out his agenda as to how he wants to deal with drug issue, how he will do this, he will do that when they won't happen. Whether you oversee, whether you get the tattoo, you get that tattoo. That basically is to say, what will be your approach in the event there is a situation of drug or narcotic and transnational narcotic arrangement. That will be what you will do. So, but now you have the opportunity, you have the power, and then this reality is before you. So you don't have to tell us what you're going to do. You should be reporting to us what you have done and what that action have yielded. That's what you should be reporting to the country. Because, okay, let's assume that Kennedy Boakai, right, who have dealt with drugs issue like this, and without any compromise, no matter who you are, blah, blah, blah. But now Kennedy Boakai is President Boakai. And then why is President Boakai, right? And over $19 million worth of cocaine is brought into his country, exposing what? Intelligent weakness. For those cocaine to be brought into the country for all that period, no detection, until it is ready to go out of the country before it gets detected, that means there is an intelligent weakness or exposes compromise within the security chain. At that point,
yeah, I would settle for the latter expression.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm just guessing because for the most part the government is holding everything to them. So I'm just running my mind around possibilities
compromise
and all that. So if we agree now, we settle that there has to be a degree of compromise. So when the president takes 1 week and with the joint security, and this thing don't have to happen outside of the president. The severity of this, I mean, in my mind, whatever room they are in, the president has to be right there, asking the questions, demanding answers, and getting everything and all of that. The briefings are coming and all of that. So when the president says, I'm speaking to the country is all ears to listen to something. The president announced importantly that his government will ensure they identify, they arrest, they charge, they prosecute, and that these people will feel the full weight of our law. But how do we achieve that? If the least of it all is to identify people associated with this thing, when there are contradiction and conflicting information from the national security. Yesterday, they appear at the legislature. You followed it. Very dramatic. I mean, for the most part, unserious. Right?
Even the people who call the folks were also misbehaving.
Yeah, bro. And so before that time, the DEA, acting on its authority, told the country that they have arrested a few people, right? But just they withheld the names of those people. But they arrested a few people, so those people were within their custody. So, and the investigation was surrounded around these people as far as we can say. So the Attorney General of the Republic of Liberia, the chief prosecutor, appearing before the lawmakers, who is right on two things I took from his questioning. They say this Emmanuel Zion, and the Attorney General's statement about Emmanuel Zion and all of the arrests contradict what the DEA said. In fact, the Attorney General plays smart. I must give it to him. But that statement he made should have come from the beginning. So what they should have said from the beginning was what they are saying now. You told us that you finish arresting people, you're investigating them. The Attorney General said, no, we don't arrest anybody yet. Because before you arrest, you identify their connection and then you arrest them. You start to investigate them, right? But then now you're telling all that, no, that persons of interest, you're just asking at that point, and person of interest can be anybody. Person of interest before they will graduate or something else. So there's a whole contradiction. The next point is he was asked by our good friend, Representative Dixon Sibo, because Liberia is concerned with the way this thing is going. Is there a possibility or chance for a drug cartel being in our country today? And you listen to him. He said, obviously, we can begin to assume, looking at everything that has happened, we can begin to assume that there is a cartel in our country. The Attorney General spoke before the president. And the president briefing did not even address anything like that outside. So the coordination is not there. The government think they're in charge, but they're blundering, and then we try to be critical, we try to be real with them, and then they get angry. They try to put a tag on your views and all of that, but it's not going to work. Just look at it. Attorney General go speak one thing, the president go speak another thing. Austin, quickly, then I'll double down on this. Listen to what the president said here. He said, Liberia will not be used as a safe haven, transit point, warehouse, financial center, or operational base for criminal networks. Beautiful statement.
No, it's not beautiful.
No. I'm coming. You just listen to it, right? On the paper, it's very beautiful. But then let's come to the actuality and the reality on the ground, right? Liberia has stole a $19 million worth of cocaine for almost a week plus before state security can even detect. So what is the president saying?
That's what make the phrase unbeatable.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I'm being sarcastic, right? So you are at the point where you can't be telling us Liberia will not be used. Liberia has been used already. So our thing is, what have you done now that Liberia has been used for that? The reputation of our country has been damaged. The image of our country has been destroyed under your watch and your leadership. What have you done so far to ensure that whoever did this terrible thing to our country, we're a struggling country, still grappling with economic difficulties, and for this thing has the propensity and proclivity to discourage investors from coming to Liberia, thereby, right, making it impossible for those struggling university graduates to have any hope of employment, because government will not employ everybody. The little means that are there, the credibility that are there, you have well watched the credibility of our country. That's exactly what the regime has done. And the president go toss palace story, and somebody say, you guys say, Mr. President, you deliver nothing, empty, lacking purpose, no answers, no direction. Maybe the president has to be organized to talk once more.
And you see, I want us to rearrange the president's speech before. I think the president's speech needs to be rearranged. Yeah. So let's try to take our time and rearrange the president's speech. If personally, if I was seated in our room, we have to rearrange the president's speech.
That means there's a fundamental problem.
Yes.
With speech. So we can reconstruct this.
One is that, like I said yesterday on Facebook, the deliverance of the speech, the person who advised the president to speak did well for him. The speech delivered yesterday was necessary. It was necessary that the president speak to the nation. However, those who wrote the speech may be politicians. I'm not too sure the technicians in the president's office were involved in writing the speech, or probably they drafted the speech and subjected it to politicians for editing. Because I know the quality of people in the president's office that write or draft the president's speeches. I know the quality of them. They are good. Yes. They have not been taught. They were there on the Eddie. They were there on the We Are. They are still there.
But some of the teenagers could have been, or that own things.
No, I'm talking for the presidential press secretary. No, I mean, yeah. They have good speech writers that sit that in that match that you sit down and draft the president's speech. Then that draft now is being sent to the different sectors, or that we use to input the different achievements and activities there. But after that, it's supposed to go back to them for final drafting. Then it goes now for administrative or cabinet review or something, whatever it is. Now, the speech yesterday, there's one expectation across the country.
Before the speech.
Correct. The expectation is that Liberians, the president is about to speak. We want to know who are those being investigated
or identified. Then you go tell the president to talk.
Because the DA said they have arrested 6 persons in their custody. They use a word ongoing transactional investigation.
The Attorney General said no.
So persons of interest don't go through transactional investigation. So we already know that, according to DA, the president said in his speech that DA is leading this investigation. So the leader of the investigation will take as face value everything that comes from the leader of the joint investigation. They have said they have 6 persons in their custody that are undergoing transactional investigation. I mean, we arrested you in direct connection to this transaction, and we want you to give us leads to other networks, to the networks that you guys are working with. That DA said that. We can't change that because the president has spoken. And we are not going to change that because the president has spoken. We know that 6 persons are in custody by the DA ongoing transactional investigation. Nothing is going to change because Mr. Braga has spoken. Let's establish that. The expectation of the Liberian people was not met. That is, we don't know who were those being investigated, so the expectation was not met. The speech should have given two things: assurance, and that assurance should have come from the aspect that has to do with those being investigated. The speech did not give any assurance. The speech did not reveal anything. So let's try to reconstruct, if we're in the room, with our layman knowledge. The first thing the president said, we'll start with the siege. He said this seizure is one of the largest narcotics interdiction in our nation's history. It is a stark reminder that transnational criminal enterprise continue to view West Africa as a transit corridor for dangerous drugs and illicit proceeds. Fun. The president goes on to say, let me be loud and clear here. Though I maintain that Liberia is open for business, Liberia is not open for the business of drug trafficking. Great. The record comes down and says Liberia will not be used. No correlation. This paragraph is highly deceptive. The person who inserted this paragraph phrased this, they deceived the country. The president has already acknowledged that drug has been seized in our corridor, on our soil. It means our soil is being used to transit or transact drugs, narcotics. You can come and say Liberia will not be used as a safe haven. Just an acknowledgement here would have given assurance to Liberians. What that assurance would have done? Would have been Liberia is being used. Liberia is being used.
And I was
what?
The mayor speaking campaign, the Kennedy campaign.
What damage would have been caused if the government or the speech writers had acknowledged that our soil or our corridors are being used as safe haven to transit or as transit point? What damage would that have caused? If the president had just acknowledged that Liberia is being used as transit point, unscrupulous individuals, cartel members are using or attempting to use our corridors as transit point, that would have given some assurance. The president still has acknowledged, the president still has acknowledged that our country is being used as transit point. Where after that, any assurance you give, even those of us who do not agree with your governance, will try to have some pity for you for that assurance that will come after. If you are just acknowledged. Because it is clear that our corridors are being used. It does not mean that Joseph Braga doing it. It doesn't mean that PR doing it. It doesn't mean that the government officials involved are doing it. But you have to acknowledge that our corridors are being used as transit point. This is one another national security information you'll be revealing. It is a fact. It is a reality that our leader is acknowledging. He fell short of that acknowledgement. They say Liberia will not be used as a safe haven, transit point, warehouse, facility, financial center, or operational base for criminal networks engaged in narcotics trafficking. No.
So to expose drug dealer now that national security.
No, Mr. President, there's not a national security. This is the paragraph that should have acknowledged. Yes.
So drug dealers now, the cartel feels very protected under the regime because they will elevate your status to national security.
Let's see the trend. Dodo is being arrested with 19 plates. Where? Now, only Dodo, only Kuta.
Yeah.
Quita was just arrested with 14 plates, but the 10 plates were 10 over and all of that.
It was 18, and then they stole some, and then I think how much they reported 10.
Before Quita, there were other individuals arrested. The presidential, somebody connected to the presidential motorcade was also arrested transporting drug. Liberian musician was also arrested. I call it Alonso. I don't know where that case is, whether he's being investigated or whether he has fled the country. I don't know. There are instances where members of the cartel have chosen Liberia as a transit point. It establishes the fact that Liberia is being used as a transit point. Had the president acknowledged that, would have given some assurance. The first thing is you must acknowledge wrongdoing. Acknowledge the fact, the reality. And then anything you say after acknowledging the problem, it gives some confidence to the citizens. Then the president comes back to say, any individual, group, or network that seeks to exploit our territory. Your territory is not being exploited now. Because you always say Liberia will not be used as safe haven. You say any individual, group, or network that seeks to exploit. Nobody to seek.
So the thing is, the old man is not even living in the reality. So if you listen to what he's trying to say here, like this thing has not happened yet.
That's the message it sends.
This thing has not happened yet, so I'm warning. Will be
basically this is a statement of warning.
The old man is detached from the reality. He's been played in a way where the guys teach everything. They tailored the message. They give it to him, and then Mr. President. Then they put him under this national security, Mr. President, of national security, so we can talk.
But the president is saying, so is there any individual group or network that seeks to exploit our territory, corrupt our institutions, in general, even on our national security, will be identified, pursued, and brought to justice. Mr. President, our corridors are not being used. You have not acknowledged. Why are you concerned about individual or group that seek to use your corridor to exploit your corridors? It means you're still acknowledging that something is happening, but you don't want to say it. That's why I say something happening, but I don't want to talk to you. But anybody will try me. No, they already try you. I hear me something, but I don't want to talk it. But anybody try me, you see. That's what the president sounds.
So should the president be sounding like that? That's critical. Seemingly protecting the cartel.
Because the first thing I want as a leader,
you cannot brave the storm. You see, forcefully address the nation and call people out. Especially
when you hear a hint and the national security decides to get involved, arrest made, the first thing you should do is come publicly and acknowledge that arrest has been made based on hints or this regard everything. The 6 individuals are being investigated, blah, blah, blah. So you're still trying to avoid acknowledging that people are using Liberia as a transit point, that people are being investigated, that Liberia is a safe place from drug trafficking and all of that.
So 1 week you
arrested
people.
Which is not the reality on the ground.
You should have profiled these people in that 1 week plus. And out of profiling them, you should have established something.
Then the president goes on the same
country.
In view of the seriousness of this incident, Mr. President, the speech has not projected any seriousness, any serious issue here. The speech is saying Liberia will not be used as a safe haven. It means everything is intact. The speech is saying any individual group or network seeks to exploit our territory, corrupt our institutions there will be pursued, identified, and brought to justice. I mean, nothing serious happening, nothing serious in the country here but drug. Then the president comes back and says, in view of the seriousness of this incident, which incident? Mr. President, from paragraph 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, you have not mentioned or acknowledged any serious incident of drug trafficking that has happened in our country. You can come back after 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 paragraphs. Then in the 6th paragraph, he said, in view of the seriousness of this incident. Which incident? No incident has been mentioned. In view of the seriousness of the incident. But in the first paragraph, that 237.6 kilograms of cocaine, you acknowledge arrested on Liberian soil. You also acknowledge in the second paragraph that the seizure represents the largest or one of the largest narcotics interdiction in our country history. In our country history. Then the next three supporting paragraphs discredit the seriousness of the first two paragraphs. You arrested 237 kilograms. The seizure represents one of the largest narcotics interdictions in our country's history. Seriousness. Then you come down and say, there be clear, line clear. Do I maintain that business as usual? Liberia will not be used for this sort of business. You say Liberia will not be used to safe, a safe haven or transit point. Any individual group connected network will be blah blah blah. Then you come back again, another seriousness. So when Abu talking about contradictions, I'm sure these are some of the contradictions you're talking about because there's no consistency in the speech. First two paragraphs, you acknowledge seizure. Last three paragraphs follow, you discredit the seriousness of it. You come down in the sixth paragraph and want to acknowledge seriousness of the matter. Then you go in, you come down to say, to the knowledge that the investigators are investigating through a coordinated effort. Why are they investigating when the matter is not serious? This is safe. The space is safe. Then the president comes back and says the investigation will proceed on two fronts. First, every individual directly connected to this shipment. Acknowledging again that there are individuals directly connected because he said this investigation will proceed on two fronts. The first one is that every individual connected, directly connected, is different from any individual. There are two different things. So we say every individual directly connected to this shipment will be identified. I don't get it. But individuals have been identified. So they remove, instead of saying has been identified, I mean every individual directly connected to this shipment has been identified, arrested, and being investigated. They remove the has and put will be identified to present to send a picture that nobody has been identified, so the matter is not that serious to the extent that nobody has been identified. 2 weeks running plus.
Because I'm told they released, I know, Peter King or
King,
somebody from Nuka that get connection with somebody from Nuka.
He's running the, I think he's running the cargo anything at the airport.
But Austin, yes, what happened, right? Let me just throw this in. Now that we have clearly identified the weaknesses in the president's address and the fact that it clearly did not meet purpose, it leaves a very dangerous, impression on the minds of the public about where our government is going with this. And this is the shadow that the government is struggling to run away from, and they're trying to use all kinds of things, distraction and all of that. It's not going to help you. You rather face the issue, because every time you try to do something, you're missing out, and critical minds are clearly able to see the deception and dishonesty. Now, because of position like this from the president, lawmakers, a certain lawmaker, able to conclude at this point that, look, what do you expect when the suspect becomes the investigator? When the kind of critical investigations are going on, and then you keep the people in suspense, you create vacuums, and then you come, the statements you're providing as self-contradictory, inconsistency, flip-flops, then it leaves the public to start to read these things and form opinions based on the available information. So lawmaker Murphy Joe says, what do you expect when suspect, quote unquote, are or becomes investigators? So Mr. Bakar's statement yesterday clearly gives anybody the moral rectitude to stand and make these utterances about the investigation process. And what do you expect if the president's speech cannot provide answers or give at least a direction as to where the country is headed and what the country has done so far? It still provides shields and continue to protect and refuse to expose, right, at this time, a cocaine that have been in this country for as long, that up to now we cannot identify what is the worth of the millions we put into national security to protect us and protect the country. What is the worth of it? Every time you listen to security agency here, they're saying, oh, we need more money. They come to us as media people. Your advocate, let's get more money. When we advocate for you to get more money, what you do in return is to ensure that national security matters, right, are expedited in a way better than what they were before. But when we start to see people fumbling in all of this, now, the president's speech also leaves room for people who were maybe off the record accusing elements in the executive to start coming up public. What did we see subsequently? Mohammed Ba, right, being openly accused. But is it also a UP strategy to throw Mohammed under the bus because of his vulnerability? This is politics. Anything is possible, right? This young man, first time in his life to get very close to government work and enters the cycle of the presidency and reduces himself to a bad boy to the president's son. And a critical moment comes and you look at it and say, okay, you know what? We can throw this young man under the bus. It will not be to his knowledge. They will manage you. So Mohammed Ba is thrown out there. His name is out there. They say he should have a connection to the Usman guy that is mentioned in the manifest that's supposed to receive the parcel in the place there. Right? So Mohammed called the media and say, me, I don't know nothing about it. So the whole thing just looking at that. But I mean, if this thing continue to go like this, Austin, somebody will get through under the bus, but the person will not agree to go down alone. They will drag other people down.
And I think and this is where the problem lies. The fact that there are conflicting statements coming from three important circles of the government speaks volume. The DEA is saying something. The Ministry of Justice, particularly the Minister of Justice, is saying something else. The President is saying something else or standing in the middle of the two individuals. 6 persons arrested, ongoing transactional investigation. Nobody has been arrested. What we have is a person who have are persons of interest. And the security people tell us that there's a difference between arrest and people being invited as persons of interest. So, and this should be a joint security operation. How did the DEA arrive at the conclusion that those individuals are considered suspects? One, the DEA did not directly make the arrest. There was an intelligence network infrastructure built by the joint security team to have the substance arrested and the individuals connected. The president's statement and the justice minister's statement all suggest that the DEA may have acted on her own by publicly declaring those guys as suspects and undergoing investigation. Transactional 1-2. It means they have knowledge, they are connected, and they are knowledgeable of the networks in and outside of the country. They can't just be persons of interest. How did they even get to know the networks? People who know networks, drug cartels, the networks that establish these different drug cartels, people who know these networks cannot just be persons of interest. They are potential suspects. They are suspects. Mm-hmm. And then you've already subjected them to a transactional investigation and issue a statement towards the effect. The Minister of Justice cannot say he's not aware of that statement issued by the DEA. The joint security team cannot say they are not aware of the statement issued by the DEA. How can the Minister of Justice who come by and say nobody has been arrested? They are they are all persons of interest. The president comes and say, I will stay in the middle. And I'm for Piago, and I'm for Minister Tue are in the middle. So the president's speech basically says to us that I don't know whether individuals have been arrested. I don't know whether individuals are being investigated. I can acknowledge or confirm that Liberia is being used as a transit point for drug. I can confirm that there's a network here, but we are warning that if there's a network here, we arrest, we pursue the network. Individuals connected will be arrested and prosecuted. I mean, this can be this can be a coordinated effort that we are supposed to celebrate as a country.
No,
and the reason why,
you put it square.
oh yeah,
You put it square. So the president gets the two view from the two critical infrastructure, right? But the president comes in the middle. And yes, where I am going to commend the president. You see, there is something within the president's speech that came out yesterday that clearly states, but you know that national security matters, so it will not be clear. So it takes criticality to unpack. The president, the Attorney General spoke. The main mentioned it. The LDA people, like I said, every time they want money, but then they can't handle small thing. They can't handle it. They only proving that, I mean, when it comes to the critical thing, they can't help our country. So then that's what we are questioning. Why should they be asking us for more money? Let's put the money to the people who can do the job. And this is where the president is going. So what did the president announce yesterday? The president said they think I establishing, right? Or I am putting it in the hands of the national security. So you know that these people have failed us. But the president will not tell you that one. People have failed us. So it's going on to the place that our Abu Msheri has explicit confidence in. Because trust me, you know the way security operate, people not jump the gun, you know, they can help you. But sometimes when the people try to, the moment the president declared that, just watch the play between now to next week, you know, between now to Monday. Now that the president has turned everything over to, you know, the national security, the NSA, for example, right? At that level, you see weird things happening now.
And this is where I wanted to conclude before we go to the lands and take course, right? It was on for me, that's the biggest takeaway from the president's speech.
Yeah, the biggest takeaway. Put it in the right people here and let the people deal with it. Then where we are not there.
After all of the contradictions, look, Yeke said something about President Bouaka. Yeke said the public can alley now, nobody happening, but he can scheme.
The man didn't don't want to on the boss.
The president intentionally stood in the middle with the understanding. I want to assume that they know what they're doing.
Exactly.
They know what they're doing. I'm just a man.
Man.
So let the Minister of Justice go there and talk. Then I'll just stay in the middle, issue a statement, stay in the middle, and then announce that we're transferring the investigation.
And now you come and see real things happening.
That is the meat. I mean, that's the key takeaway. If I were writing the story, that would be my angle.
Correct.
President Bouaka has transferred the investigation to the National Security Agency to handle because the LDA has shown no confidence, exercise no capacity, no authority. They are not convinced. They were unable to convince the president and the public, that they have the capacity, that they are able to handle this matter, complicated matters. And this is why the president has transferred the authority to the NSA. The NSA take charge of this matter. This is not the first time the president has transferred matter from state security to NSA. Remember the Capitol building incident?
Correct.
The police were handling that matter. That matter was turned over to the NSA again to take charge of that investigation because there were too many news about political emotions and things, and then unprofessional, unethical dealing or handling of what they consider as evidence and all of that. At the end, the president had to turn the matter over to the NSA. At the time, the damage had already been caused. complicated matters. The LDA is supposed to be extremely sophisticated. Do you know that LDA does not even have an intelligence bureau or section there?
And that case you're talking about, I mean, you can have all your things, but whenever the NSA gets involved,
it's going to be different.
The whole thing can change. It starts to get professional, everything. And
that's why, you see, the whole joint security operation thing has been a problem. Has been a problem for investigation. Major but this something here, generally, you have your money there. So, I mean,
we got 3 minutes, we got 7 minutes.
Either the NSA should be taking charge of these complicated investigations and not being allowed to sit back when they damage. I mean, when the problem is caused, then you call them in to do damage control. Because the NSA can be doing damage control. You can be using them to do damage control.
We just get everything they need.
Yes.
Put them in charge, and then the whole.
And they provide guidance for them. So when the jury, they provide guidance for the DA. When the police or something, they provide guidance for the police. Instead of allowing the police to take charge, police take charge, it cause problem. Then DA, NSA comes in to do damage control. DA takes charge of something, the chakra A. NSA comes in to do damage control. Fire service takes charge of capital buildings problem, the chakra A. Then the NSA comes in to do damage. No, you can't use the NSA as a damage control. They don't take the lead on every investigation, especially ones that require intelligence gathering.
Yeah.
Allow them to take the lead and provide guidance for these institutions. So, Mr. President, that other one part, we commend you on that one. You made a smart decision, and we must commend you for transferring the investigation.
We can equally recommend that this become the procedure going forward.
Yeah, the new standard.
Yeah, the standard going forward.
$10 American do that way. So 0776 at 9 o'clock we have Councillor Tiawonse Gonglo here to talk to us on the different government leadership and the different issues that he thinks it should be addressed, or that are not being addressed, or that are being addressed, and he who address those issues if we elect him as president for our country. 0776 104 104 0886 500 104 are the numbers to call and join the show. The WhatsApp line is active on +231 886 500 104. Good evening to you. Hope you can be brief with your comment.
Okay, I'm Emmanuel Braga calling for station number 3.
Yes, yeah.
The statement issued by the president yesterday, if we critically look at it, the president will be another venue for them to spend British money on this drug case. But the British money now, the thing that happened to report a TV to that port that can provide all information needed by the government.
Is it? Excuse me. Hello. Yes. You will make a point. Listen now. Okay. Today I will warn you, but don't use that word again. Foolish money. Don't use that word. Yeah. Hello. Good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, good morning. Kawan is going to Abu Dhabi. The nearest travel I'm calling this morning for the context. I think the statement made by the president was not a honest, and the entire government are doing points of it because we saw that the past administration into the $1 million. We saw people were named and shamed and it was prosecuted. What comes today, there's no law in the $1 million that says people should, those people who have been called with those people no, the last people are saying when you finish that just yesterday, but it's not just today, they are not only putting somebody because they are not putting think about that day. All the things is going communities, bringing people together, they say our young boys, our young girls, doing so many things fast for because actually studying stuff, but not be executive according to the past year director of administration.
Thank you. Next person, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Yeah, my name is Biggie. I'm calling from Russia.
Okay.
Am I hearing the presidency people were unapproved?
Sorry?
Did I hear the presidency ministry agent they were hearing the business on the church of unapproved?
No.
Hello. No, Let's not misinform the public. Let's get
You're
your
not even clear.
yeah. Let's get
What
your.
are you saying?
I'm asking.
Mm.
Am I hearing that the president said that other people go to the church?
He said,
No.
he
Nobody
said
said that.
those connected will be pursued, arrested, investigated, and prosecuted where evidence leads.
Yeah, who want to arrest the people? You know why I'm asking the question? Everybody know the police, the immigration, and whatsoever on one person within the justice minister. But the president says those will be arrested. Who wants that make it before to be arrested to the president and the justice minister? So, what is the difference between trying to remove the vote and trying to remove the vote? That's the same thing we're going to be doing. That's all.
No, man, the investigation is about to take a different thing. We have to allow that one to happen. The president has announced restructuring the process, so we have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. That's a lot. That's a lot of process to have. Let's see.
Hello.
Yeah, morning, Abu.
Morning.
I'm Arvin Johnson calling from Tuboro, the chairman for the Concern for Justice. You see, the president's statement was weak yesterday. Because the president was just really powerful, just paraphrasing what the justice minister and the DA director said. It was not fair to the public. Because if, as a president, you come on the radio to speak, you decide to call the nation to stay still just so you can talk. You should be able to say something to them that will listen to you and be happy. But instead of that, the president, they still the justice minister said in the horse, they just took our people and paraphrase and give it back the president to bring out the city warrior. So the president never did justice to the country yesterday. The president got to be clear. The president got to be clear with the citizens.
Thank you. The president got to be clear with the citizens. Let's hear you.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning to you,
Yeah,
Sisi.
this is Mandela.
Oh, Mandela, okay.
All
right.
Yeah. What I want to say here is that when you people, how they call it in a statement, I heard something about persons of interest. In this case, it cannot be persons of interest because persons of interest, there are someone or people who you hear information for them, they say, okay, come, let's come hear from you. But there was some concerning at the foot, at the foot. There was things that was hindering this thing. Someone signed and all for it. How can you say nothing or interest? The people, somebody signed for it and serving it, they are hindering it. People from here, they went at the foot, they see people arrested with the drugs, carrying it at the foot. And now no persons of interest. Number 2 point I want to stress on is that is inconsistent information that is the time on the local and Guinea case. When he went on outside, he came, what they discussed, nothing he tell us, what they discussed, nothing. Since you say people are being investigated, people leave and call. Who are they investigating? So the same thing they did on this local and this thing today. We hear anything, what the people do, what they saw, what they do against him, against all, yeah, the discussion are ongoing. That's the same thing about it. We don't want local and thing in here. But be honest to liberate people. That's what I get to say.
Thank you very much. The president must be honest to the Liberian people. Let's squeeze in one more call and then we can take a break to brief. Then we usher in our guest who's already here. Good morning to you. Let's hear you.
Good morning. Good morning.
Hey guys, not yet. Let's go. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I'm Samuel from Oceania, President of the I'm so tired of
What's the meaning of Shigi Bemben?
Somebody who get everything now.
Somebody who get everything?
Yeah, you know, Shigi, right? No.
Oh, Shiki.
Yeah, Shigi Bemben.
How do you spell that? How do you spell Shigi Bemben?
Shiki-Ben-Ben.
Shiki Bemben. What?
Yeah, Shiki Ben.
My man, our Wednesday on you, Shiki Bemben.
No problem, no problem. The one that on this number 14, Honorable Kebula Muga Kamara make it happy for you.
Oh, my man, yeah, then Muga can be Shiki Bemben. Then you be Shiki Bemben picking.
Yeah, Moga is the 001. I'm the Shiki Baby.
Okay, my man, let's hear you. Go ahead with your point.
Okay, my advice to the president is to look in at the sector. Because most people they're or informer or helper. They're not able to training. So for things to go fine, that you'll be very, very happy. Because you only go with the minute breathing jobs, they're taking TV, they're taking transfer, they're taking shit. Yeah, what did I do? What did I do?
No, bucket wrong. Where was it, man?
What did I do to get it to a job now? What did TV get it to a job? So my brother said, going to that set up Google, then you finish share all that stuff.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Shiki Ben Ben. The man ago, the man looking weak.
Yeah, he watches, and you go arrest the man. Then listen to a podcast. I think there's a Labyrinth podcast in the U.S. that they have these, celebrity come.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, now listening to him, he said it was terrible. His experience is terrible. He said the minute stealing all kind of things in the hall, then they bring to the place. They're telling him they have a whole bag of marijuana. They want him to stand before that and take picture. Under the condition that if he does that, then they will release him to go for a show. So he declined. And that's how the humiliation and embarrassment all started to happen. So you see, it's terrible, it's bad.
Yeah, man. One time they made take picture, and said, no, I can't take picture. You won't keep me, you'll keep me.
Yeah.
This is Liberia for us, but let's take a break. Let's take a brief off, and then you see. Okay, so let's take. I want to play a teaser from this man. I don't know where I can get it. I think we should squeeze in 2 more calls, and then we'll try to adjust from here. Let's give you this clemency. You're live. Go ahead. The person in the Kobo show. Oh, okay. Hello.
Hello.
You're live. Let's hear you.
I'm Nicholas Cooper calling from. Our president telling us that Southern Liberia was funded that the government brought the highest drug in Liberia.
No.
He said one of the highest.
Yeah, one of the highest. I mean, he did well.
What do you mean? What do you mean he did well?
Thank you.
What do you mean he did well?
To bring
the high job for in Liberia. You're very happy. You're going all over the whole country. Maybe you can bring some. And you can do well.
My man, thank you. Yeah.
They may say you can't take job in the country. Then you bring one of the highest jobs. You doing well.
Good morning, Abu.
I didn't even see that coming. He said he did well. Hello.
Good morning, Abu.
Good morning.
Yes, Secretary calling from Justice, concerned Liberia for Justice.
Go ahead.
Pastor, thank you very much. No, Pastor, let me tell you this. Nothing that will come from you more than Liberia will take seriously. They open Liberia for the first one that they arrested to Broadway. That the whole investigation going on.
You can use Miss Lair or something, you know. Do you have to say La? I mean,
okay.
Yeah.
They open my hand and left anybody here. We are not supposed to be.
Yeah, you don't control it.
Nobody will come and lecture on here. Let me tell you, the first investigation for Broadway is black. Let me tell you, your parade around with pocket lawyer, you don't say you're a bad patient. Your parade around with other people, you say you're a bad patient. So that today, because your data around you, they're involved. Down to your son, we hear it and the men involved. Then you can say, Moga, bad patient. You can lecture up. Let me tell you, nobody can play for all. First of all, you went Guinea, you drop for your went Guinea. You say that people managing went up. You come for that black. They both say that in the chair. You have to go for a prayer because you have to church.
No.
Good morning, viewer Abu.
Good morning to you.
Prince Carnival calling from District number 6, a member of the Concern Liberia for Justice.
Let's hear you.
Viewer Abu are so disappointed in the government. The government have campaign. They go down together. The poor people go in black here say no to jobs. But when in the black here passing on the street, the same
All of y'all were wearing a t-shirt.
Yeah, I wore a t-shirt. I didn't know the job because my home was fed up by it.
Hey, we be all out there.
We be all.
It will be fun, man.
I got my brother who taking it in. What see they come in, I can be on job. Then they come in for the first family, they into the job.
All right, thank you. Let me tell Thomas Sabo. Thomas, good morning.
Good morning, Abu.
Morning.
Good morning to all three.
Morning, go ahead.
Thank you. Thomas Sabo, member of the Concerned Librarian for Justice, and I'm phoning from Justice Invade. Abu and Austin. It was not even necessary for the president to waste his time to wake up and say he's going to speak to the nation. It was not even necessary. Because the essence of you going to speak to the nation.
No, speaking to the nation unnecessary, maybe you can say timely because the actual information that probably would have helped, and the public did not come at that time. Maybe you can say timeliness. But it's always important for when critical issues happening like this that the president speaks. Isn't it a bad thing?
Okay, Abu.
Yeah, go ahead.
The president speaking to the nation yesterday, it was unnecessary. One, the president just wasted a lot of time. Hannah. Speaking to the nation is to.
Austin asking you, say how the president wasted a lot of time.
Yeah, I come in. The essence of the president speaking to the nation is to restore a hope that was lost, a confidence that wasn't there to restore it. But one, where was the hope the president restored to the Liberian people? Nothing. Why is the confidence in the investigation? Nothing. The president went down there. Only because the president SSI one is right. One, the scratch card and get it to go do the work, the free money. Because nothing. They just the president will show no interest in that because he said he's part of passport in for you.
All right, thank you very much. So
yes, then I keep receiving messages that the live isn't clear. I don't know. Jonathan Avle, you have to come in here and look at these cables here, to give it some quality.
Robert Pakuya, let's hear you, my brother.
Good morning, my dear brother Abu Shari.
Morning.
Good morning, Dr. Austin Kawa. Make a data degree from you.
morning, my brother.
My dear brother.
You get data degree and plenty of work. Go ahead.
Yeah, but that man deserve that title from your with the room and radio station. He been on the radio for a long time. Him Petro Costa, I follow him from that time. So somebody that I like to hear, But let me go to the issue. Abu, I'll the family first.
Family is good.
Okay, that is me cutting a point to know how your family. Okay. Thank you for giving me the opportunity, and thank to you people who are doing. People are doing a very good pro bono job for the Liberian people. We don't have to pay for you, but we continue to pray God for you people. Yeah, for me, I listen to you people. The talking point that you are saying the president. To me, the president telling the Liberian people that nothing that drugs were discovered here. That was happy because from his speaking, but like the DEA or LDA trying to made us say low at the working. So that's what the president is telling us. Seriously.
So what you know
now? But what I say, the thing here is the man who is depending on as the father of the nation. He's saying he cannot think over there that all of them talking tango thing, the president talking tango thing, the justice minister talking tango, the all of group talking tango. Who will believe now? My brother, I said the president disappointed. Nobody appointed you to be disappointed. That what we get for the past 6 years, nothing good will come from in this country here pertaining to government. This government is a group of people, looters.
My man. Why you want to do here? It's a group of people looters. How you call your government officials looters, my man? No, my man, you not get proof. You not get evidence proof on that thing, my man.
Okay, yeah. Let me just end. I beg you
quickly.
Hey, the good robber.
Yeah, the president will not make us to feel that this country we belong to the country. The president always make us to feel bad. What he's saying to the Liberian people, I think you could say something that will bring hope to the.
Okay, Robert. The next address will give hope.
Edmond, I'll show you. This is Edmond from this side. Let's hear you.
Thank you. I remain the visually impaired that are pushing for the return of President. We are a proud member of Concerned Liberians for Justice. You know, the president is predictable. Whenever the president is about to give an address, we can predict in and exactly what we will predict. Enough money come to pass. Okay, so for some of us, it's now a disappointment because we knew what he was going to say. Because look, when the American president tells you say drugs cartel have been chased, the next time you hear him speaking, if you tell him it is drugs on boat that were underwater or some arrests have been made. But the same the ministers, you know, have been saying over the almost 1 week and a half, the same thing the president can, and he repeated it. So what would they need for the address? I think the president should have waited and then make sure that they are having some people in their hand, some of the big hand that he's talking about have been arrested before he come to the Liberian people.
Thank you very much, Edmond Carr, the visually impaired man that is keeping President Bouaga's feet to the fire. Yes, you can use that. So, folks, let's take a brief off and then we can come back. Our guest is already seated here, and then we move into our discussion for the day, to close the day on this Wednesday's edition of the show. A buzz of our theme song.
When they welcome me, they say they were freedom fighters. When they welcome me, they say they were liberators. But when they kill their crown, they change their mind. When they kill their crown, they change their mind. What kind of people they so? They are freedom fighters. What kind of people they so? They are freedom fighters. You freedom fighter, you raping our women. They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you killing our children. They are freedom fighters. Freedom fighter, you destroying our country. They are freedom fighters. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. Ayo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, yo, ayo, ayo. Ayo, 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 ayo. When they welcome me, they say they were liberators. When they welcome me, they say they were liberators. But when they kill their crown,
they change their mind.
When they kill their crown,
they change their mind.
What kind of people they so?
Yeah, freedom fighter. Yeah, I think our technician is here. You can look at it, something for us. Yeah. We hope the sound is okay now from our end. Is the technician said they have to come? But whatever the case is, it's loud. Okay, so they call him the broom man, the broom candidate. Where the man with the broom? Some people say, I let out other men, what can be carrying a broom all around? Suppose I let the man, what did you have a broom in here? But that's the beauty of our democracy. Some will like you, some will not like you. But at the end of the day, your standard must be your standard. Your philosophy must be your philosophy. That's how we drive the beauty of our democracy. Some say it's the exercise of tolerance. But it shows the outsides of the political divide. given the opportunity to be heard, we must be able to coexist. I think we can run into our conversation this morning. So I bring this one down and welcome officially our guest, Councillor Tiawan Se Gonglo. Welcome to our show. Welcome to this should be your first edition in person edition. Good morning to you.
That is true. So it's historic, and I'm happy to be here this morning. I like to teach in classroom and to teach in the public because ignorance is one of the things that has undermined the progress of this country. And sometimes people think they know, but they don't know. And we should be speaking to each other, even the views that we don't like, we should listen to them. Because tomorrow, the day after tomorrow, you say, you know what, I think I listened to the people yesterday is true. We should keep the space open to speak to each other. So I like what people are doing. I support freedom of the press. I fought for it in this country along with a lot of people that I can not boastfully, but I can say with confidence that there's no lawyer in this country that has fought for press freedom equal to me. I've been the print media, the electronic media, everyone, because I strongly believe in freedom of expression. I was just telling my students a while ago that things are not changing very much because, in 1998, I was one of the 4 lawyers that presented paper at the national conference that President Taylor called at the Unity Conference Center. And I delivered a paper on the title, The Judiciary Facing the Millennium. We didn't know. And the prospects and challenges. In that paper, I researched and concluded, things have to be changed so we can see how Liberia, the judiciary will be in the first quarter of the new millennium. Now we passed the first quarter, and the things that I was looking at, the challenges that I was looking at that time still exist, surprisingly.
And this brings me to the point. When you do your random research about Councillor Gonglo and his most recent engagements and utterances about governance, whether it's leadership or judicial review or what have you, issue about the rule of law, expediency about the rule of law, and I would say political expediency. You've been rendering some strong opposition to corruption and bad governance. Your support for the establishment of war and economic crimes quote in our country, investment in education as a national priority, the belief that Liberia is rich in resources but suffers from poor leadership rather than lack of wealth. These are messages that resonate or emerge from random research about the EU. This brings me to the question on leadership vision for Liberia. You have spent decades criticizing governments, or I should say critiquing governments. What qualifies you to move you from critic to commander-in-chief?
I like the 2 C's, from critic to commander-in-chief. That's good. Look, I have been critically looking at governance from the time I was in high school. I joined Moja when I was in high school. And at that time, Moja was creating awareness. That's a long time before you were born. I'm talking about 1975, 76.
Yeah.
So when I came to University of Liberia, I joined SUP. I became a member of the university newspaper called the University Spokesman. And here our motto, even a bullet to our breast, we should speak the truth. At that time, the papers in Liberia were all three-party papers. The Liberian Age, the other papers, Daily Listener, the papers that were being run at that time were run by people who were affiliated to the only party that existed at that time. So the only independent press was the one that the students at the University of Liberia running. And that's one of the things that brought me to the legal profession, because we were held in contempt. I think in 1978 or 79, we were held in contempt for two Lebanese who strangulated a young Liberian, Edward Berry, who was going to night school, working in the store in the day. They say he ate one candy and they strangulated him to death. And that case had taken some time at the court. And we didn't know much about the judicial process. So we said, oh, this case has been delayed. Look like the Lebanese merchants are influencing the judiciary. And we wrote something in an anonymous column about George Edmund Wasser, and was cited for contempt. We went and we pleaded our own case, explained, and the judge said, okay, I'm happy. You didn't intend to look down upon the court. You were just anxious to know what was happening. But I've been thinking and critiquing government, even the government that look better than governments today. President Thomas' government was critiqued by us because we're looking for not just at least, but to get the best out of our government. I'm really motivated by the Declaration of Independence of Liberia, when those who formed the state said, you know what, we came here to establish a state that will be for all people, it will be free for all black people. And we want a country that will be run like country run by people of other pigmentation. They were actually referring to the Europeans. We believe that we have the ability to run a state the Europeans will do. So that aspiration, great dream, up to now, it is still what a friend of mine called Bill Berkeley wrote in the mid-1980s, 1986 or 87, the promise betrayed. That promise has been betrayed by government after governments, that this country will be a country run like any country in Europe, and will be an example for the rest of the black race, that this will be the model for Africa. We have not. Small country like Cape Verde, I was just reading about Cape Verde last night. They don't have natural resources, they only have tourism. They are much better governed than Liberia. Botswana is a country that is naturally challenged. It only has diamond. And we have diamond, we have so many mineral resources. But good governance has made Botswana to rely on diamond and make Botswana a middle-income country. Look at Botswana, 70% of the land mass is desert. It means so sand, no plant growing anywhere. Then they are landlocked, no sea coast. In order for them to get goods to their country, they have to go to other countries in the region. But they are performing better in terms of education, health, food production. They grow maybe about 70% of the millet they eat in our country. The 20% and the 30% of the land they have, they're raising animals and exporting meat. We have everything. Liberia, I have traveled all over Liberia. And so, and Botswana gained independence 119 years after Liberia's independence. And independence, it was considered a very poor country. In 1966, Liberia's GDP was compared to Japan. Here we are today among the 15 poorest countries of the world, and Botswana is now a middle-income country, only because of honest governance, good governance. The governments after governments in Botswana have been for the people, not for the pockets. And because of that, Botswana is considered the least corrupt country in Africa. The resources are benefiting the people of Botswana. On the other side, in Liberia, again, historians are kind to me. They will say, I'm the first presidential candidate in the history of Liberia to go to more than 100 towns. I went to 354 towns in the 73 districts, and I felt very sad for Liberia. So underdeveloped. But everywhere in Liberia is green. There's no desert. You find a few savanna along the coast, Maryland, Grand Crew, Sino, along the coast. But then they are even good for animal raising. When you go to Kepama, you go to Grand Cavale and other places, you see the cows, they are well fed, which means we have the potential to even do better than Botswana.
You see the rest of the issues already. I listened to President Bigo the other day. He was talking about, he was advising his cabinet ministers. Since you talk about Botswana,
Yeah.
he's just like,
I listen here every day.
he said,
Even this morning.
I live here. I don't live in heaven. I don't need you to come to me with problems. I need you to come to me with solutions. So you seem to already have an idea of what Liberia's problems are. What kind of Liberia do we envision if elected president after 5 years?
You know, you cannot solve a problem unless you know the problems. So I'm already familiar with the problems. First, very low expenditure on high officials of government. I have said, as president, I will not make more than $5,000 a month. I will not carry more than 5 cars in the presidential convoy, because I saw President Talbot with 3-car convoy coming from Bensenville. I saw it. It's doable. I saw President Talbot's Vice President Benny Warner with only one vehicle, a brown limousine, beach limousine, I still remember, with one police motorcycle. If you reduce the cost of governance, then you free up resources to be used for social services to the Liberian people. Governance is to seek the common good, to make the people happy, not to make the people who govern happy. No.
And I was just about to ask you, in your best reasoning, I was just about to ask you, what does good governance mean in practical terms that the ordinary market woman in Ganta or Douala market who be, or the motorcyclists running and roving the streets of Monrovia, who be able to understand what good governance means?
Make social services available to the least in the society in terms of poverty. They must have access to the best hospital. They must have access to the best schools, all children of Liberia. You must assist the farmers through government programs to improve farming and produce food. Roads must be all over the country. Then the citizens will be happy. You see, in Botswana, that's my example. You don't hear for the past 5 years, I've been checking, no protest. No street protest. What are you protesting about? They're happy. If you satisfy your citizens, they will not be protesting. I hear government after government, from President Salif to now after the war. When you're protesting every day, give them reason not to protest. A hungry man is an angry man. That's what we say. And when you make more of your citizens angry, of course you expect them, you make them hungry, you expect them to be angry. And they will express anger in different means.
So governance issues, and then we can.
I just want to say this, that when we used to be critical of government at the University of Liberia in the 70s, they used to say, "Yo, shut up, man. We now hear people talk the same thing. When you get there, you'll do the same thing." And I was very critical on corruption, because that is what, hold resources that will make the citizen happy. So one of the reasons I agreed to go into government was to test myself. Are you able to go to government and come out as Councillor Gonglo? And I went into government as Councillor Gonglo. When I came out, I didn't go around looking for Councillor Gonglo. As Solicitor General, as Minister of Labour, even as Executive Assistant to the President of Liberia in my early 30s, serving as presidential envoy, going and returning money. Imagine I went on a trip, as I remember now, 20 days trip as presidential envoy to Sierra Leone, to Guinea, because when you go to see a president, sometimes it takes you a week to have the chance, right? But I've completed my mission in 10 days. When I came back, Francis Kabwe is alive. You were the Minister of Finance. I went to him and said, "Oh, yeah, give me $4,500 for 20 days. I spent 10 days. I can justify $2,225. I can't justify the other one." So I brought the money back. Francis Kabwe is on radio. He will listen to me He said, no, but the money from you that we finished taking it from the National Bank, that your per diem. I said, no, per diem is when you are away from your duty station, your hotel, your food, your transportation, incidental. I can't justify this. He said, no, I can't take it. I said, he took it. He said, okay, that's what you want. And he gave me a receipt to his credit. The next day, he deposited the money and sent me the deposit slip. It's just because of I'm going to America in exile that I can't find that paper again. But to his credit, he did that. And I'm talking about 1992 when things were tough in this country, right? Yeah. So when I came back from America, imagine I was at Harvard making $4,000 a month as a researcher. I came here as Solicitor General. They started me with $400 or $600 and $9,000 liberty allowance. When I got my first pay, I said, wow. Anyway, this is a challenge to me. That I see money that TC Group were making here. So let me make this money and stay home my principles. This is a real test. I was there until my salary got elevated to 1,006 or so before I left to become Minister of Labor. Even as Minister of Labor, I was making lower than what assistant minister I'm making today. I was making $2,223 take-home pay. And I stayed in that job until I resigned. You know, when I couldn't stay in the government because of variance between what was happening and my principles of good governance.
When we look around, I see two persons well placed to answer this particular question. You and President Bouaka. You often say that Liberia's greatest problem is bad leadership. I mean, relatively bad leadership. Mm-hmm. What are the three biggest leadership failures that you can point to or point out since maybe 2003 or 2006, 2004?
That not walking the talk. People, government, actual government make pronouncements, don't follow it. My own president, President Salif, for example, said corruption of public enemy number one. At the close of our government, she said it became a monster, vampire, right? Then the question of tribalism and people of your group, that cronyism is still there from one government to another. It affects getting the best qualified Liberians to serve. One of the things we fought for in Liberia, some people say, the progressive part of the country, I say, instead of being grateful, we fought for a Liberia in which Austin Kawa will not sit at the radio station because of his name, because of his tribe, because of the place he comes from. That every Liberian must be judged by the content of his character and his qualification. It is our fight that got Bouaka in the mansion today. Because I can tell you, it will have taken a longer time for Bouaka to be in the mansion today, for Bia to be in the mansion, for the different names to be at the different branches of the government, whether it's
at the legislature,
the Chief Justice, and all of that. I say we fought for Liberia where today a top man should have opportunity to be president. Against a number should have opportunity to be president too. A Herring should have opportunity to be speaker. Whereas Yakwalo can be speaker, or a president pro tem, you can have Monega, Bazabog, and say as
they have Besonga.
Yeah, Besonga as president pro tem, but then Johnson can also be president pro tem. Nobody responding for his name, for what family he was born in, what tribe he's in, and what region he comes from. These things are still with us. I mean three, I can mean more.
Because the administration
the question of selfishness. Mm-hmm. People put themselves before the public interest. That's a serious problem. When I used to argue against the legislators after I resigned from government, why are you talking about legislative engagement form when nobody will monitor? And you'll say, then when you go to the district, has your representative brought $30,000 to you? They say no. Then when you ask them, say, But you know how much the executive mansion taking? But because the executive mansion is taking big budget that it can account for, the lawmakers too are taking. Leadership, by example, is the best. When you go to a country like Rwanda, I've been there twice. You don't see Paul Kagame picture all over the place. You feel a good president by the quality of life that the citizens live. Their breakfast, their lunch, their dinner, taking care of their children. Then they are grateful to the president. President picture will not have to be in the rooms. Here, we emphasize the unimportant thing. The president picture is everywhere. Sometimes they even force business people. Oh, you get a president picture in your shop. What is that? People want to do the business under a good atmosphere. For example, the drug bust. Why should there be secrecy about a serious something so serious? When the president right at the beginning said, "I'm taking drug tests," and nobody accused you of being engaged in taking narcotic drug. The vice president too took it. The real test of commitment to fighting narcotic drugs is what is happening right now. Every minute the Liberian people should be informed of what is happening, because if you fail to inform the Liberian people through your media, then you give chance to the rumor mill to fill the gap for you, and the government will be in trouble if people provide the information that government should be providing.
Did you listen to the president's address yesterday?
I didn't listen to it last night. I don't know who was giving.
Okay, so
Yeah, play that.
so we can ask you a question.
On that, I behaved like him yesterday because he said, I don't listen to Liberian radio stations. I listen to ERW and BBC. But I usually listen, but that one escaped me. Like yesterday, I was so busy. Tuesday and Thursday, I'm a busy day in teaching. Both at LU and the Library School of Law.
If you're elected president, would you muster that political courage to look within your government and prosecute members of your own government?
Yes.
That were implicated or that are implicated into corruption?
You know who's my model president on that? President Talbot. And I went to his office twice and shook his hand. I had great respect for that man. He, in 1978, signed a death warrant for a family member that was named, a younger family member that was named after him, William Talbot. William Talbot killed his wife in Painesville, and he was taken to court, tried in the Supreme Court, found guilty, taken to Supreme Court affirmed the judgment. And he dramatized the signing of the death warrant on television. All students were on the dormitory, we were in the TV room, in the study room, and we were watching. President Talbot said, Bill, you know you are the most lovely person in my family. You were named after me, and you know how much I love you. But I'm faced with upholding the law. I took oath to obey, to promote, to defend, and execute the Constitution and statute laws of Liberia. One of the laws says if you kill in Liberia, the penalty is death by hanging. So I have now a death warrant before me that I should sign for you to be executed. I love you, but I love Liberia more. So I'm going to sign the death warrant. I'm telling you. Everybody looking, we didn't believe it. He said, I will sign the death warrant, but I'll pray for you first as pastor of the Zion Praise Baptist Church of Bensonville. So let's pray. They prayed. At the end of the prayer, he signed the death warrant. That was on Thursday. Friday evening, the Talbot family went to Central Prison and had a week the whole night. At about I'm told that about 5:45, the sheriff came from, took him on a gallows, put a white cloth around his neck, and put the noose on. Exactly 6 o'clock, all the planks on him. And Bill was hanging 6 to 6 with his family member looking at him. That is what is required of leadership. That you can take the decision even against your own child in the interest of the country, or you resign. But I will not resign. I will. In fact, when decisions around people who are close to you comes, that is the real test of your commitment to your office. You know, I was prosecuting one time and I was cross-examining my very close friend from college. We are the same year from Berlin. And I was cross-examining him for hours in an anti-corruption case. He said, this was Liberia. You mean Agongo trying to put me in trouble like this, my own brother? I said, I didn't expect you to go on that side. No, we should be able to stand up. I don't even want to tell you what me and my driver go through. He will tell you when you're on the radio.
Let's talk a bit about concessions and job creation strategy and stuff, because I see the clock is clicking so fast. We're running and things. How would you renegotiate concession agreements without discouraging foreign investments?
I look at Botswana. Botswana got diamond. Botswana is getting more from the diamond than the bear. The bear want to make profit. Everybody who comes in our country comes to make profit. We too want to benefit from the resources. From my experience in government, a lot of government officials in this country treat concessionaires as missionaries, people of goodwill. They're not coming, they're not people of goodwill. If you don't have the resources, they will not come. One example, I live in Tapeta growing up. There were 2 logging companies there. But right now, there's no forest in Tapeta. There's no company there. So if you don't have the resources, they will not come. If God gave you the resources, you negotiate and get the best out of it. Saudi Arabia, all Kuwait, all the countries that have oil, they negotiate well. That's why their countries are benefiting. Here, we can throw money away. I was part of the metal steel negotiation. I dare nobody call on the radio to say what I'm saying. We had 3 trips to go to renegotiate the metal steel contract. That was the first major contract in President Saleh's contract. I was then Attorney General. We got to New York, and Mr. Singh, the negotiator from metal steel on the other side, I was asking all the critical questions. Why? Because an international human rights organization that I studied was emphasizing the rights of people. This is international multinational corporations had given me. I said, he flew from London. He said, I'm coming to New York tomorrow. We came, we're upstairs in Sweden and Cravat. He said, I'm here. Come to Starbucks downstairs. I have coffee. He gave me dossiers of everything about metal steel. When I went upstairs, I was asking them questions. They were like, I said, what did you give to IFC in order for you to get money to? What did you give? The information you gave to the financiers were different from the information we were getting. So I said, have you not said that you will sell barrel, the price of iron ore would be like this and that? So the man got angry and got up. We'll leave Liberia, but we'll leave Liberia. I said, leave. Members of my delegation disappointed in Austin. As the man reached to the one there, tapping it back. Hey, Mr. Singh, please come back. We lost our strength to negotiate because the man came back, fiery, negotiating now from a position of strength, like, oh, they can't do without us. When we came back, I had lawmakers who can't come to my office because the people in the delegation said, I don't remember him, you the one telling me what to you. Oh, SG, they say, everybody say, you the one, you're hold up. I said, one senator, I said, Senator, you see bombing holes? It's gone. When our iron is gone forever. So I'm doing the best for our country. And if you want to put candidate for our people too. So because we signed that agreement is gone. The next thing I heard, local government official from Nimba on Truth FM, they said our own son start and making it and now appeal. We're breaking you, we're suffering here in Nimba. Then I was on the delegation, I had gone to the president's office for something, and I saw my name on the delegation for the second trip. My name was on this guy. My name was on the file to negotiation. All Austin, I just heard 2 days later that the delegation has gone back to New York. I was deleted from that list. Then they came back when I came and said, "Oh, no, Madam President, for example, the rule for Ghana, the UK part, I was insisting that I be in agreement, as part of the agreement. They said, oh, the rule from Ghana, the UK part, matters, they say it will be a matter of Google, they commit themselves to do. You can't enforce Google. So, we just gave free ride to Medicine that time. You see, even the second part of the agreement, right there in Sierra Leone, for class A money lesson, now the information I got is they pay the $1 million a year to the government of Sierra Leone. Here, but I still pay $50,000 for the 25 year or a year. So that means $2,000 per year. You see how we throw away money, imagine $25 million, subtract the $50,000 from it. So we threw money away. And they did not even rehabilitate the houses that were in the company area, both in Yukepa and Buchanan along the way. You go to Medicine, containers. Some of them storage building containers up. As soon as the project is over, the containers will be taken away. There will be no improvement in the area.
So there are 2 things. I see 2 things standing in our country. I see politics and I see law. What do you think is governing our country? Politics or law?
Politics right now. And that's a sad thing. Where the law does not control politics, there's a problem. For example, the FOIA project, they didn't go by law. They didn't go by the procurement law. And when the money was not budgeted, people who should know about it, and the first time the Deputy Minister of Information gave different information, the Minister of Information gave us different information, and the Executive Marshal, and like nobody knew at the Executive Marshal, in the Ministry of State. And the worst thing is that the President of Liberia got on the air and said, oh, I even know about that project. And nobody's in jail because those who spoke about it said $10 million. When the minister tried to put money to it, finally said as a government project, it's a presidential center for the region, but it's $6 million, not $10 million. $6 million, the government, that'll be people's money. It was not budgeted. It didn't go through procurement. How? And nobody being held accountable? That's a violation of rule of law. That's the problem. Selective justice. The government enforces the law on what they want to enforce law on. You know, my little sister, for example, came in the country, and now people say, oh, because maybe if you you know. But when Samuel Tua came in the country, it is my understanding that one of the reasons Zago was dismissed is that he didn't arrest Samuel Tua at the airport. Whereas the only thing that was at the airport was Nay is a Republican, which means don't leave the country. So Zago is a lawyer by training and was a prosecutor before. So people who don't know law say, but the man should have arrested the man. He said, but the only paper that was at the airport was don't leave the country, but the man will come in the country. So, I mean, we have to, rule of law creates the atmosphere for good governance. Where there's no rule of law, you cannot have good governance. Politics is based on discretion. So people do as they wish. It means that where there's only politics control and laissez-faire, you do it as you wish, is not good because it doesn't set any standard for the country. For example, I was just telling the driver that brought me here, I said I've been to Uganda twice. And I was sitting in a taxi from Hotel Rwanda, Hotel Milan Kali. And I would say, oh, I want to go see the stadium in Kigali the first time. I'm sitting in the car for like 2 minutes. And when I'm moving, I said, but I thought I paid you to go. He said, sir, if you don't put your seatbelt on, this car cannot move because I know how much I will pay to go. You see how real logic, you know? Because you know how much you pay. I think about $100 is equivalent in the branded money. So, where there's rule of law, things can be better. You can even pay, for example, in the city here, 10,000 for the street in the city. every hour. As long as you don't make dropping papers orange oil in the street an offense for which people will pay fine and fill in their pocket, they'll be dropping things. Believe me, if people are paying fines or going to jail or littering the street will be clean. That what happens when we run them much money.
There are many people believe that the drivers or runners of our governance infrastructure should be the legislature that has oversight, responsibility over other institutions. But the effectiveness of the legislature's oversight has gotten up public criticisms for years. 3 years in the current administration running, the legislature still seems divided on political line and all of that. As president, how do you think you can solve this matter?
The best leadership is leadership by example. If the president is behaving raises the standard of governance so high in terms of his conduct and everything, those who follow in the legislature everywhere would be careful.
Do you think that's missing?
That, for example, I've said to the president, when you get 24, 27 car convoy, so the speaker now have convoy. The speaker never had convoy if you cannot tell her. If you are not too young to know, there will no convoy for speaker. Tell her. In fact, besides president, there was nobody in the government on the president that had convoy, right? So the president had 27 car convoy. So the speaker had convoy. Even the fact that has made a little money, that even creates anger, envy, and everything for the other lawmaker. One making mayor getting all the things that we don't get. His office has so much money. It's the money thing that divides them so much. But going back to in this country, it's the president influence is very strong, especially on the legislature. It's been out for long. I was telling some people history is something. At the beginning of this country,
how would you change that?
I will restrain myself to respect the two branches of government, to go by the law they make, but also when I draft the budget, it goes to them, I will cut up a lot of things and put it to social services, but I will also myself, right? I'm not going to be going private jet over the place.
Would you be pursuing a regime speaker too?
No, I will not do that.
You prefer a speaker coming from the opposition political party as president?
I will follow what the lawmakers want because I know in the interest of the law, I will deal with them fairly and my contact of government, my governance style will persuade them to do what is right because if you don't do so, the Liberian people will run behind. I will live in a mansion, for example. Why is the president living in that place doing the same thing? The government.
Why presidents have not been able to live in the mansion? Just making these commitments, probably without even doing any assessment to establish why these former presidents and current presidents are not living in the mansion. What do you think they have not lived?
I've heard all kinds of superstitious things. That they're not living in a mansion because they're being carried on coup d'etat. But they removed the president. Executive Marshal Guard Battalion that are right there. The soldiers are not even there again. They remove soldiers from PTC. So that fear of President people through is not even there. But it's less costly for the president to live in a mansion than to live home. First, if you step the traffic, you reduce performing. You're going to get every president coming, everybody away. If you're going anywhere, everybody away. When the president is in a mansion, that cost on time and even expenses on fuel is cut down. Then I was seeing something about everybody crying that president. We are all the place, they have the block street and the building all kinds of things. I passed through the same rehab and I see obstruction of the place before the president was there. We used to drag a pass through, blocking all of that as a public space. All of that would be cut down if the president. Look, if the president they can build $600 structure in Foya, that could have put the presidential quarters in the executive mansion in the best, in fact, less money in the best position. Besides that, almost every year, under President Seli, under President Weah, and even under the president, money is being allocated for rehabilitating the executive mansion has become a big cash cow. So the president want to live there, but some people believe in all kinds of superstition. I believe in God. I don't go back, but I will live there for the.
We actually want to take at least 3 or 4 or 5 calls, but I'd like you to use one word to describe Liberia's democracy.
Well, it is picking up, but it hasn't gone far. And where it is making progress is in speaking openly. The Kamara law, I credit President George Weah for it. That when he came to power, I drafted that law in 2009 under President Sli when I was Solicitor General, but it never went through. It was not one of the things that the president was hard about. But 2009, I was already 3 years in the government. I strongly believe if President Weah had put that thing before the House of Representatives, before the legislature, 3 years in the government was not going to pass. But he did well. He was wise to put it when the forum was still on, and it just passed. Later on, some posts I regret because I remember a couple of us when the packet Demoy. Under President Weah, he was arrested by the CID and won there. I said, why I can't remember the situation? I said, oh, you already know that this law has been declared, and you are just 2 minutes walk from the legislature. You can do this here. What will happen in the way I expect the police officer in Bagleville or Sunday to do? So already by that time, they're like, what this is. So it was, he would take credit for it forever. That legally the space is open for everyone to disagree. There cannot be democracy without disagreement. So I think on that level, some progress is being made. But we need to do more. It's not just government should listen to opposing views and govern on the basis of what the suggestions are being made, even by people outside. That's why I say, okay, thank God the Minister of Education has reduced the graduation fees, because that one thing I've been advocating about, I said, this is a low-hanging fruit. President Barker just issued one executive order and said no graduation fees. I still believe it should not be there because I don't see the reason. And also, they did a road to Southeast and they maintained it for some time. That is good. But this speech is very important. I'm getting worried about people suffering from speech like Kuyata, presidential advisor, was dismissed because he offended the lawmaker. The lawmaker, they have press bureau in the legislature. Anybody speaking again, they can counter it with press statement. They can come on the radio. Many of them got sharp, but they can even come to counter. How can they believe that one statement from Kuyata will make them look bad and probably will believe Kuyata over them? So it's wrong. In a democracy, we should disagree. Like the late language talk, you say, you talk your own, I talk my own. Yeah, that's the way to do it. And now, even carry it to, well, even carry international. An ambassador, EU ambassador, was recalled or was asked to be recalled. I don't know whether she left. Maybe she had. Say, oh, you're talking to people privately. Your conversation is not favorable to government. You're talking things bad about the government. You even talk to our partners. So the government is listening to private conversation now. That is scary. It happened when talking about what they got PRO, when it used to be listening to people. That is going to have a chilling effect on other ambassadors at the government and listen to full conversation. Call them in, talk to them. Foreign minister, call the ambassador. I hear you saying what is happening. And talk to. Look, Honor President Sawyer, Ambassador DeBoer, peace be to his actions, said something to the Minister of Defense, Dr. Edward Kessler, about Dr. Sawyer. And Dr. Edward Kessler came to him. So he was cited to the National Hyper Persons. He said, Mr. President, I did not speak officially to the Minister of Defense. He didn't say he didn't say it. He said that's not the official position of the United States government. So it's okay. Maybe because you put up political scientist. I just wanted to hear why, if there was anything behind what you said, so that But that was the end. People have to let's focus on the most important, that is improving the lives of the Liberian people, and not reacting to every statement. You know.
Okay, Council, let's do 5 minutes of management time and pick at least 4 calls to gauge the action from the public. 0776 104 104 0886 500 104. Council Tiawonse Gongo is one of Liberia's presidential hopeful ahead of the 2029 elections. He's been speaking on a number of issues. My name is Austin Abu Sharif is here. Let's hear you with a few questions. Go ahead.
Good morning to honorable councillor. Councillor, I am Spencer Mohammed, and I'm called from down Coast Hill, Winter Community, a member of Concern and Group for Justice. Councillor, I have a question for you. Councillor, back in 2020, you helped to bring this government to power. Now, 3 years later, I want you to grade this government. Councillor, is this government proceeding as you anticipated? Because you want to say...
Thank you. Your question is clear. Thank you. Let's take the other person. Good morning to you. Let's hear you.
Yes, this is Brown Daddy from Morovia.
Go ahead, Brown.
And let me think, you and Sherry and the councillor, I listened to him. And he was saying something about enforcement, our law, policy, and other things. So I can only somehow to say that our enforcement regime in this country is weak. So when he comes, can he re-strengthen it?
Thank you. Can you re-strengthen our enforcement regime if elected president? Next person. Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Hello, good morning. My name is Eva. I'm calling from Congo Town. I want to say thank you for the show. Good morning to the guest in the video. Well, I listened to him from the beginning. All the things will really help if the right people.
I'm sorry, your line is terribly bad. Let's talk to somebody else.
Hello?
Good morning. Go ahead.
Yeah, I hope I'm Emily. I want to tell the council something. Our council went to your office 2 times. That is saying
that one a personal issue there. That one is personal. Masisi, go ahead.
Good morning, Tawa.
Good morning.
Let me say ask my councillor. So ask my councillor, the people you brought to power, the rule of law. Oh no, the government is proceeding well. That's my question to you.
The people you are?
The people he brought to power, the rule of law. Oh, the government is proceeding well.
Okay. Thank you, Masisi. Council, you can take the full concern.
Let me tell the 2 people ask the same question. You can see a beautiful woman and think that should be your wife forever, and you marry her today, and 2 months you are in court divorce. I've seen that one plenty. So expectation and reality can be different. Don't prosecute me because I felt that there will be a better day. Anybody can make that decision. It's just like you see food, you say, oh, the food I want to eat, you go eat it, somebody runs your stomach. But you can't say you should have known. No, I'm not God. I will not know everything. I said, I cried down my own little brother, very good friends. I said, no, you messed up. You could not even take us to Waffle or African Cup or anywhere. You took us to whatever I used to use. You took us to ICU. So I couldn't go back and say, oh, I said that. I said, the man not credible. I said, okay, let's try the other person. He's older. He's been government. He worked under President Talbot. So at least he had worked in the government and who felt was reasonably good. He was happy from that. I'm disappointed. I'm not grading the if I'm grading it, obviously it's a feeling grade. They are doing some things here and there that are good. You play a role. But you don't follow the rule of law, that rule can be destroyed. Because procurement and all the different things you need to do properly. We don't know about procurement of the yellow machine, for example. It just came out. President gentleman agreement, that is still on the voice is still there when you go to the legislature. So that type of governance is not good governance. I didn't expect it. I must say I'm shocked. So don't prosecute me. Don't hold me guilty for thinking that, dreaming that things will be better. I'm not God. but it was reasonable to think that way. Just like how you can say, I've never eaten that food. I've seen people eating that food and getting fat. Let me try it. Then you go try it. And
It's like
you
it's
start
dry.
running. So I thought I knew him. Because I work in the government in which vice president was not the best, but he put up something that sounded good. That I was a parked car. Yeah, he's not a parked car. He's not racing as he thought. He said he was going to be a racing car, but a lot of things. Once rule of law is not upright, and it's supposed to be a rescue. Rescue is the big motto for this government: arrest and rescue. But it looks like the arrest agenda has arrested the rescue mission that is not moving because the MCC, the Millennium Challenge Account, have given plenty of money for to pay our hydro. Said under President Weah, the rule of law grade was 44%. And now it says this year that under President Bwaka, rule of law grade is 44%. My one arithmetic shows that 44 minus 44 are 0. So there has been no movement, there has been no rescue in the area of rule of law. That's my clear evidence. Thank you very much.
Abu, we have to go.
Yeah, I want to commend the councillor. Well said. I would have had area to quit him on, but obviously, as the public, some changes that we're going through here. So let's see what the next edition. Probably, if we have an opportunity, we'll do once more. I'm very interested in history, especially the role of the progressive and some decisions that we're taking. Yeah, definitely. So, we conform. So thank you very kindly for coming.
So, trusters, we will have Councillor Gongo back here. This place is his home, but he's been so busy to join us. Now that there was just an orientation interview. Yes. So this is just an orientation interview. We're going to have Councillor here for 2 hours sometime next week for us to deal with all of the issues next week, 2 hours here. So we announce his reappearance Monday. We announce his reappearance on next week. But until then, let's say thanks to all of you for listening. Thanks to all of you for watching. And we shall be back here tomorrow by God's grace. But until then, do have yourselves pleasant moments in your respective areas. My name is Austin Kawa. Abu Sharif was here. We shall be back here tomorrow. Bye-bye.